joined by Austin Trout. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing great. So it's been a while for you, what, 15 months? So how does it feel just to get back to action, have a date on paper?
Well, one, it's like I got a job again. I feel like I've been out of work for a year, you know? And straight up, I was turning into what is it called, Mr. Mom, you know, just taking care of the house and the kids, and then I ain't like that. I ain't like that at all.
So you saw what, I don't know, down the road could look like, and you're like, oh no, I got to get back in the gym now while I have time?
Well, you know, I was in the gym the whole time, trying not to get fat. Let me tell you, after you turn 30, the bounce back is not so quick. and you know, I just wanted to stay in some kind of shape, and call it vain if you want, but it helped me, you know, stay sharp through this long layoff.
You're like, the dad life is not conducive with keeping this body.
It's not. You get a dad bod, living that dad life.
Now, having lived that boxing life, though, off of boxing, how nice was it to feel that other side, live that dad life for a little bit?
No, it was, don't get me wrong, it was great, and I love my kids. I love being involved and in around, and a lot of times that I've missed out on a lot of things because of boxing. So it was definitely great, fresh, just to be back and there steadily, you know, for my kids, and for the games, for the school, for whatever it is that they needed, and I felt like I needed that too, just to keep my family unit stronger. So it was a blessing in itself, the layoff. I mean, we could look at it like it's a year and a half of not taking any wear and tear. You know, it's a year of rest. But you know, I've had a lot of fights and a lot of experience, and so I don't feel ring rust will be an issue, especially the way I feel in sparring and camping and whatnot. You know, it was nice to be home. I'm not gonna lie. As much as I say I didn't like this whole Mr. Mom situation, I loved it. You know, not more than boxing though.
I gotta figure though that somewhere between either the drive to the gym or while you're in the gym or the drive home, in between those mom or those dad moments when you were still putting in your work, you're thinking, why am I not getting a fight? Why is the business side of boxing? Tell us about that, because I'm sure those thoughts came up though during this time.
Those thoughts, is when it was getting hard. You know, I'm the type that if it bothers me, I kind of push it to the back, out of sight, out of mind. But when it's your career and the number one question is when's your next fight, I don't know, or when they start asking you, are you even fighting anymore? You know, that's when it starts hurting. You're like, yeah, like I'm not retired. Did you see my last fight? It was a great fight, you know what I mean, against the top guy in the game. So, you know, why would I retire after something like that? And that's when it would bother me. And really, there's still no good answer or reason for the layoff, except all I can just chalk it up is it's God's plan, you know, and His plan trumps everybody's plan. So I just have to kind of get on board and see where He's going to take me with this plan.
So a year and a half, where did it go from? I'm sure you wanted some time off, camp, everything, family time. When did it become that point where you're like, hey, making phone calls like, somebody fight me, what's going on?
Well, I didn't really want time off at all, because before then I was off 8 months before the Charlo fight. And I don't like these layoffs. Honestly, the boxing world has yet to see the best of Austin Trout because I don't get to stay busy like I want to. Maybe once I get busy, and I feel like after winning this fight, I have a mandatory right in December, and then hopefully they can get me back in by February, March with the unification. Then I think you'll see the best of Austin Trout, because I'll have activity, whereas I could just build off of what I was doing instead of having to come back and rebuild.
Now heading into Brooklyn against Hurd, a title fight. You already talked about ring rust, but you said you're better when you're more active. So how do you get back to feeling that way, and how do you head into this fight?
We've had a long camp. We've been training since March, for real. And not 100%, because that's how you get overtrained. You know, we've been doing it smart. Whereas, you know, we get to a point, and the fight was pushed back numerous times, so we would fall back a little bit, you know, and just try to time it right. So we've had a long camp, and I I think we've knocked off the rust throughout this time in camp. You know, the weight's good. You know, that's another thing I was worried about, was if my weight was going to come down like it used to, or like it should after being off a year and a half. But my weight's good. You know, I'm making goals. I'm set. And I'm surpassing these goals that I set.
So we'll call that weight kind of worry a 30 issue. You're like, now that I'm 30 again, we've got to work a little bit harder. So you were just kind of, is the science going to happen? And so far, your body's still reacting the same?
Still reacting the same. You know, I don't eat bad. You know, I don't eat too bad anyway. Yeah, I have my sweets here and there, but I make my wife cook a lot, or I cook. You know, so it's really a lot of home cooked meals that I eat anyway. I'm not a fan of fast food anymore. It's crazy because I used to love it. I used to be the junk food king. I can't eat it no more. You know, and call it age or call it just because I know what they put in that crap. But I can't eat none of that stuff no more. So I think the nutrition part definitely. I tell anybody, a six-pack doesn't start doing crunches. It starts on your plate, and it's true because my weight's good and I don't feel drained or anything. You know, I was at low 60s just 2 days ago, 62. And I wasn't drained, you know, my head wasn't too big, you know, so I can lose the extra, 6 pounds, 7 pounds and still feel strong, I believe.
Now, how do you deal with it? You're professional, but you've had a lengthy career. How do you deal with all these pushbacks? It's part of the game, it's part of boxing. But when you have an opponent, you guys are zero it in, you know you're going to fight each other. But you said the date's been moved back. How do you deal with that?
You know, it's a bummer because we have a schedule. You know, we're trying to peak at the right time, and we're on schedule, and then they push it back, so we have to kind of fall back and reevaluate where we need to be, you know, for this new date. And really the pushbacks aren't the problem. It's if they cancel the fight that's the problem. So I'm okay with pushbacks as long as they don't keep pushing back too far. Mind you, we're supposed to fight in, I want to say, April or May. Now it's pushed all the way to October, which is the better part of this year. I mean, I didn't have a summer. I didn't get to do the summer things, which could be a blessing in itself. That's how you get in trouble.
And so one of those things also makes the 1.5 layoff sound a lot longer. Also, you're like, wait.
Yeah.
This is like 4 or 5 months added on to the layoff that was not by choice.
It is, and conspiracy theorists in me wants to think, this is their plan. They think they're gonna catch me with my pants down or rusty, and so that with that type of mindset, I have to make sure I'm on point, that I stay sharp, and that there is no rust. That I knock it out with the work, and we've been working. We climb mountains daily out there in Las Cruces.
Great fights, tough opponents. Tell us about the experience advantage taking on a kid that's barely getting into the depths of the waters that you've already swam through.
Well, here's the thing, he's never fought anybody like me before. I don't think amateur or pro, but I fought people like him, better than him in my opinion. And just you could take that, and you could weigh that out. But at the end of the day, you have these unknown factors. Does he have that it factor? We're going to see October 14th because I got that it factor. Whereas experience aside, I can still fight. No matter, you want to take away the experience of those unknown things that you can't weigh. The things you can weigh, I can fight. I got good defense, I can punch, good jabs, good speed, good power, good footwork. And so with that package, experience out, seeing better opponents out, I'm still going to beat this man.
Again, with that veteran experience, something that has to weigh in the mind of, or I don't know how it doesn't weigh in the mind of boxers, the judges. We've seen it from the upper echelon ranks to the lower ranks. If you're not the hometown guy,
which I'm not,
you can't go to the decision. So as a veteran of this, how do you deal with that circumstance?
Well, I don't never want to look for a knockout and say, well, I got to knock him out, because then you're just going to beat yourself trying to knock this guy out. But I'm going to beat him in a manner that if they don't give me the win, boxing fans should riot on my behalf, because I'm going to beat this man from pillar to post, inside and out.
Where does it chalk up on your list of goals? Winning this fight, getting your second world title, a different world title?
Utmost importance. It's on the top of my list to be multi-time world champion. I wanted to be the undisputed champion. I'm not undefeated no more, but I can still be undisputed, and that's my goal. That's been my goal. My whole career is to get a belt and get another belt.
Now, with your style, what do you think is your biggest advantage against these upper echelon guys talking about reaching that goal of undisputed champion?
I think my footwork and my ability to adapt. If you give me a look and it's not working for me, I will change the game. You know, and definitely don't let me see two looks. Don't let me see that look twice. You know, you won't hit me with it again. So you know, my ability to adapt, I think, is my brain is my biggest asset.
And how hard has that been on a boxing style to get fans? Because a lot of fans can't appreciate the more technical style. So how do you feel that's played out in your career? Do you think that your style has helped or kind of hurt you in that aspect?
I don't know, man, because you know I'm not a born fighter, as some people tried to put me in early in my career, but that's because they never seen me fight. You know, in the early part of my career, I had to go yonder to get the chances that I needed. And then, you know, the one time I was on, one of the first times I was on Showtime was against Devin Rodriguez, and that was just a crap show. And, you know, I'd never gone rid, but I won the fight fairly easily. And I think that's where they try to get I was a boring fighter, because that was bad. There's just a bad fight, you know. But I'm an action fighter. You know, you have to. It's a boxing match. I'm not just pure defense minded. I want to hit you. I gotta hit you. So for the fans, you know, I think they realize and understand what I bring to the game, and really I think my style is what's going to give me the longevity that I have. You know, I don't get hit much. The wars I've been in, I still didn't get, you know, too much damage taken. My first cut in my whole career, my life, was my last fight. So, you know, thank God for that. You know, and it was just minor cuts, and it was a good fight too. So even with the wars I've been in, I haven't taken much damage, and I'm ready to see how long we can take this.
Does that feel like a victory in of itself, that you don't take much damage? This is a violent sport that you participate in.
Right. I mean, think about it. If you can come out of a 12-round war fairly unscathed, that is, you know, that's definitely a victory in itself.
Having fought in the same era we've seen recently, well, again, Mayweather is retired, and this week we saw Andre Ward retire. What do you think of the legacies that those guys left behind, having competed in the same era?
Well, definitely pound for pound, greatest. Floyd is the best right now. Andre Ward, in my opinion, he could have stake and claim of being one of the best ever light heavyweights, aside from my man Bob Foster, who, like, real quick, fantasy matchup Monday, Bob Foster versus Andre Ward. Who you think will win that one at light heavy?
Jorge Hernandez is also in the room. I'm going to make him speak up.
That's a great question. I think Foster's left hand will sneak up on Ward over the top.
Would he catch him though? Would he catch Ward?
It'd be difficult. It'd be difficult to do it,
But
because
he was relentless.
He was relentless. That left hook. I mean, you can't really compare either one to any fighter either one has fought. So.
Yeah, that's true. That's a tough one. But you know, I'm rocking with my man Bobby Foster on that one. And don't get me wrong, Andre Ward to me, inadvertently, he was like a mentor. He was definitely a role model to me in this sport. You know, being a man of God, you know, his name is Son of God, you know, and how he carried himself with his class of dignity throughout, no matter what, you know, Kovalev was racist as hell during, he still kept his cool and beat his ass, you know, so I love that kind of silent killer. It's like a ninja, you know, you don't say much, you just come up and do work. And, you know, shout out to Andre Ward. I would hope I could bow like you, my man.
And then just think about your style. You talked about those greats. How do you want fans to talk about Austin Trout?
You know, I just want them to say how it is. I come to fight. You know, I never back down from a fight. I fought anybody. And you know, I kept myself humble and dignified throughout the whole process. And this boxing game, you definitely lose yourself, or you have to lose yourself to make some more fans, you know. And especially right now, I think ignorance sells. You know, the more ignorant you are, the more, for some reason, they put you on. Look at my man Adrian. He does it. He goes off and he talks, he curses, he says a lot of wild, outlandish, shock value things. He does shock value things. He gets a date once, twice, 3 times a year if he wants. You know. So I refuse, though. I refuse to lose myself in order to get that kind of advantage. If that's what they want, I'm not going to give it to them.
Not to lose yourself, but do you feel a need to maybe turn up the volume, whatever it is that you have to say or however it is to promote yourself? Some of them do it in that negative light,
right.
And we saw that from some of the big spectacles, and it grabs attention. But I also think it's important that you have to sometimes grab that camera, grab the people and say, no, look at me. This is what we're doing. And there are people that live the right way. As we just talked about Andre Ward, I think that was the best point about him. A guy that did it the right way and was a tremendous role model in a community even that needed one where he came from.
Right, absolutely. No, I do feel there's a need to turn it up, get the camera and say, look, I am the best. I'm trying to prove it. Let me prove that. And in every press conference, every interview, like I say, I will tell you, I'm the best all the way around in this weight class. And it's stacked, too. There's a lot of good fighters in this class. And I'm telling you, I'm better than all of them. Even if it's by this much or by this much, I'm still better, you know, and I just would love to prove it.
Now, what does it take in this fight business, you think, to make those matchups happen, to give you the opportunity to prove what you feel in the ring?
I need this belt. I get this belt, then, you know, the opportunities is just, the world is mine, you know. So getting this belt would be a great microphone, loudspeaker. I could take that belt and say, all right, this thing on, Canelo, you want to come take a crack at this? No, whatever. Cotto, Charlo, you know, let's unify this thing. So I got to get this belt.
How do you get past her?
I go through him. And if he don't want to move, then I'll circle his ass and then go through him, you know. There's many ways to skin a cat. And this cat has got a lot of fur to take off, so I'm going to try everything.
Awesome, Trout. Thank you for the time.
Yeah, thank you, man.